everyone, lovely to see you. Welcome to our Saturday Night Live demonstration, where we will this week be doing 3/4 Persian. Alright, so we'll start off with the, these are the projects that I produced with the weave. So this is the bracelet, which uses a double strand of the 3/4 Persian. So all I've done here is, as I said, I've done two pieces of the weave. I've joined them, and then I've run some beading wire up the middle and put some beads on there. So it's not that difficult once you know how to do the weave. But as I said, I won't be demonstrating that bracelet at all tonight. But this was the bracelet that the guys got in the Maille Club. And the other thing they also got was a kit to make this wrap. Okay, so just a couple of things with the wrap. Might as well talk about it now. Although it holds in place, it's not, I mean, you put some pressure on it and it's going to pop out. Also, all these cabochons are handmade, which means there's going to be slight differences in the cabochons. So if you're concerned about the cabochon popping out, what I would recommend you do is on the back put some epoxy. Now, I've spoken to Danny at the Whimsical Bead, who is our polymer clay goddess, because the cabochons are made out of polymer clay, and she suggested that I should use either araldite or Loctite to fix the chainmail to the polymer clay. Now, I've never used an epoxy before. This was my first time ever using them, and I got both of them. Now, the Loctite came with this sexy little thing here, which supposedly mixed the epoxy as you pushed it out. But I did this yesterday lunchtime, I think it was, wasn't it? Yesterday lunchtime, and it's still sticky. It's still wet up here near the actual mail. So I'm not 100% thrilled with this. Now, I don't know whether this thing didn't mix it up well or not, but the one that I did with there we go, araldite, didn't have a problem with it. It's hard, the mail is in there, it's not going to pop out without a lot of oomph on it. So if you're, as I said, if you're worried about it popping out of there, and it will with a little bit of pressure put on the actual cabochon, grab yourself, I would recommend araldite based on my experience, and just fill in. I just filled in here inside the mail so that it's just captured the rings. You don't want to run the risk of it going off the edge of your cabochon and all over your mail itself. But that's just a hint for you guys if you're worried about this. Alright, so I'll get on to showing you how to do the weaves. And there are two methods of doing this. The tutorial went out with just one, but I will quickly show you the second one tonight as well. So the first way of doing it, araldite will do it. It did this time, Susie. Look, I don't know, it could be user error, because like I said, I have never used a two-part epoxy before in my life. So it's possible that I stuffed it up, or that tricky little bloody nozzle on the end of it, which is good for only one use, by the way, guys. I thought it was a completely useless piece of thing. Maybe it didn't mix it properly. But yeah, anyway, I'm not happy with it. But anyway, this way I'm going to show you, the first way I'm going to show you uses half Persian 3-in-1 as the base weave. I'm going to do right half Persian 3-in-1. I don't honestly think it matters, but I'm going to do this with right leaning half Persian 3-in-1. So just quickly, for those that don't know how to do half Persian, start off with 3 pre-closed rings, stacking them on top of each other to the right like this, and then taking up an opened ring. We want to go around this eye that's here by the first 2 rings. So the eye is where those rings overlap, and our first ring we want to place goes around that eye, just like that, and we close it up. Okay, And then our second ring that we want to place, I seem to have the dropsies tonight, I'm really sorry about that. Okay, this time we want to go through the second eye, but through the first eye and around the second eye. So around the eye that's formed by rings 2 and 3, but through the eye that's formed by rings 1 and 2. And at the same time, we want to go underneath the ring that we just placed. So I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not really. So we go through the first eye, around the second eye, and we just make sure it stays underneath that first ring that we popped in. Okay. And then to continue weaving this, I'm going to take out one opened ring and I'm going to get a pre-closed ring. I'm going to pop that on the open ring. And what I'm looking for is that eye that we went around. So this eye here underneath, see if I can bring that closer. That eye there, that's where I'm going to pop my next ring. So it's going to go straight through that ring there. I'm not picking up any rings anywhere else. I'm just going straight through that eye. And I'm closing that up. Okay, so that gives us this loose ring here. We want this ring to sit on the front, like all the rest of our rings that are standing up. Okay, so making sure that we keep that ring at the front, we take another opened ring, we pop on a pre-closed ring, and again, we just want to go through the eye that's formed by the first 2 rings, making sure we keep it underneath the ring that we popped in previously. Okay. And again, we put that ring in the front so that we keep that patterning. So you can see our rings are maintaining their pattern. The ones at the front stacking up this way, the ones at the back the other way, like that. So you'll need to do that for the length that you need your bracelet to be. And then you're probably going to want to add about 5 more centimeters. About 2 inches to the length, because it does scooch up a little bit when you join them up. So about the length that you need your bracelet, plus about 5 centimeters. You just keep doing that, creating your half Persian 3-in-1 right leaning piece. Okay. And then once you've reached the length that you require, slip that last ring on there as you have been. Take up one of your open rings. And this time just go through the eye like we have been doing, but we're not adding any extra rings on, okay? And that's going to just finish up our weave. Okay. So I'm just going to remove the twist tie that I had here at the beginning. So once you've got a few rings in, you can remove this twist tie anytime. I like to remove it and put it through the first 2 rings. Just keeps it all in place. So that's your half Persian 3-in-1 right leaning. We can see it's right leaning because of the eyes here are leaning to the right side. If it was left leaning, they'd be leaning the other way. All right, so to convert this to 3/4 Persian, we need to turn it over to the back of it, which is the concave side, the side that dips in a little bit. And we want our first ring, I haven't opened enough up, but here we go. So this is the end that we finished on. And we've got this eye here that you can see. Let's see if I can find my stabber. I may not be able to in this mess. Oh, thank you, babe. Okay. We want our first ring to go through this eye here. Okay. So we're just going to slip that in there. Close it up. And then we just let that ring fall down on top of the one underneath it. the next one, we want to go around that eye that we just went through. So that means we just go straight through the end ring, and then we want it to go through the next eye in our weave. Okay, just like that. Close it up. And you can see that we're starting to form that trough there. Okay, that's where we're going to slip the cabochon in and things like that. So again, we want to go around the eye that we just went through. So that means we just go straight through that ring there and then through the eye. I mean, it just fits beautifully. If you go through the ring, it just naturally wants to go through the next eye there. We'll close it up. And you just keep doing that, basically, till you get all the way back to the beginning of your piece. Okay. And then that is basically 3/4 Persian, using half Persian 3-in-1 as your starting weave. So as you get up towards the end, so you can see how quickly that all just fits into place. Or at least I hope you guys can see how quickly that all fits into place. All right, so that's my second last ring. So once you get to the end, obviously there's no eye to go through. So we just put it through that previous ring and then straight through the next ring. Okay. And you're done. You've made a piece of 3/4 Persian. So to complete the bracelet, you make an exact same piece as that. You don't have to mirror it. You don't have to do it left leaning or anything like that. Make it exactly the same as that. And then, as I said, to do the bracelet, we then just take, once we've positioned our pieces, our two pieces together, we just join them up, going through the eyes that are formed with our loose side. Okay, and then you string the beads up through the middle. So quite a simple bracelet, really, the construction of it, but it's just beautiful. It bends. The only thing I recommend is taking care when you string, making sure you don't put too much tension on this beading line so that you don't shorten it or make it all kink up because you've made that beading line too tight. Okay, so I hope everybody could understand that. I'm not seeing any chat, so I don't know whether everybody's fallen off or everyone is watching.
Really easy for them.
Okay, did everybody understand that? Did I go too fast? I'm not getting any feedback, so I'm not sure whether you guys, whether that's working or not. Easy, love it. Okay, beautiful, Kim. So, all right. So, as I said, that's the way that the tutorial that went out to the Maille Club members shows you how to do it using half Persian 3-in-1. I'll now show you how to do it starting off with full Persian. Okay, so you may find the full Persian version, I like that, the full Persian version quicker, to be honest. I love making half Persian, so for me making half Persian is actually quite relaxing, which is why that's the way that's my go-to to make it, basically. So what we want to do to show you the other way is using full Persian. So make yourself a starter piece of full Persian just like you normally would. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're only going to put, so at this stage I would normally put 2 rings in or fold 2 rings back here, But what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to do one. So we've got the 2 rings down here on this side, but here we've only got the 1. Okay, and then you would take an open ring and you would put 2 in here like you normally would. So if you don't know how to make full Persian, this may not make any sense to you at all. I'd recommend learning how to make full Persian first. So here where you would put the 2 like this, the 2 middle ones. So normally there'd be 2 rings here in the middle that we would grab, but with this 3/4 there's only 1. Hey Brett, good to see ya. And then we put the 1 ring through here and we build only the 1 side. All right. So this is probably easier, to be honest, in retrospect, but as I said, I'm a fan of building half Persian. I find it to be quite therapeutic, so I'll probably go to building it via the half Persian every time. But if you like the full Persian, this way will probably work for you. So 2 rings in the center.
Cheryl thinks the second way is easier.
Yeah, look, the second way probably is easier.
Yeah, many people different ways. Hey,
I like, yeah, as I said, I enjoy doing half Persian. So for me, half Persian is the winner. So once you've made your piece, you're going to want to come back down here and remove this starter ring. It's easier to start with full Persian, even if you've got a couple of sections of full Persian, until you're happier. And then go back and remove this extra ring. So I'd have to take this ring, just this 1 ring here away. But you can see it builds the same structure. So, and there's absolutely no difference. So these ones I created using the half Persian. This one I whipped up today using the full Persian method. Okay, so there's absolutely no difference whatsoever. Just depends which one you like to do. So if you like me and you like half Persian, you might want to stick to the half Persian version. Half Persian version. I love it. Otherwise, yeah, honestly, the full Persian is probably the easier way to go. So my apologies to Maille Club members if I confused you with the half Persian way. But there's nothing wrong with a challenge. And there's nothing wrong with knowing a couple of ways to do it. So, hopefully. Yeah, Jenny, look, it is quicker, I have to admit. But like I said, I enjoy the other way, so. And that's it. Is everybody cool with that? So as I said, I will do the project tutorials. I won't show you tonight how to join it. People that are Maille Club members have got that in their tutorial, so they'll be able to work that out. If you're a clever person, you'll be able to work it out. You just basically need to keep the pattern going when you join it. But look, I fully recommend trying both ways. See which one you prefer. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? You can also use this as the base weave for Aussie Maille. That's I should have pulled it out.
Which one's that?
Aussie Maille. So 3/4 Persian is actually the base weave of Aussie Maille as well. So once you know how to do 3/4 Persian, you'll be able to whip that up as well. For those that haven't seen that weave before, we did that a while ago. Check out some of our other videos. All right. So does anybody have any questions, or are we all too clever?
I think they actually killed it, didn't they?
Yeah. The full Persian way is probably the easiest way. I probably should have started it that way, but you know. Sorry. How I started the second one? I just put everything away. Okay, no worries. Alright. So I just... Oh, is that Oberon?
Yep.
Alright, let me just set this back. So I'll take this off here. So I'm just going to start it with a section of full Persian first. So who was it? Elizabeth? So I'll just do that. Everybody, there's a couple of different ways of doing Persian as well. This is the way I do it. You do you, whatever works for you. Okay, so I make a little chain of 2, 2. Okay, and then I'm going to flip my last pair of rings back like it's Byzantine. And then I'm going to put one through there. So just like it's Byzantine, we're working like it's Byzantine here. And then I'm going to put a second ring through there. Okay, and this is how I would start full Persian. And then the next step, I go through there, and I like to fold it down and I pick it up this way. Other people do it differently. This is the way I do it. So I'll show you that again. Pick up the 2 rings that I just placed, and then I'm just going to fold down and bring it through the V underneath. And I'm going to close that up. Now normally if I was continuing to do full Persian, I would do that same maneuver on the other side, but because we're doing 3/4 Persian, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to now put 2 rings through that center ring, which is basically the ring that I just folded backwards. Okay. And then we'll just continue on as I was showing you before. So 2 rings off 1. 1 ring goes through that 2 and then folds back and picks up the V underneath. And that's it. Okay. Yeah, I don't use paper clips normally because I have twist ties, but I didn't have any on my desk. My desk looks like a
Bomb.
shrapnel bomb went off, basically. I've got so many jump rings everywhere.
It's a very colourful shrapnel bomb.
Yes, it is very pretty. Cheryl, I don't know how tight you could go down, to be honest. This is 6.25. You could probably go a little bit smaller. Basically, I would imagine whatever you use to do full Persian with will work with 3/4 Persian. This is the same size ring that I use to make full Persian with. I haven't made a 16 gauge 5mm full Persian, so I can't say whether that would work. It sounds too small to me, but if you've done it and it works, brilliant. What?
I've got all the sizes.
You've got all the sizes? No, it's all right. We don't need to.
4.5 up.
That's all right. Okay, so was that good, Elizabeth? Did that make more sense to you? Hopefully it did. Oh, you haven't done it? Yeah, look, Cheryl, that to me sounds very small. But as I said, whatever works for full Persian will work with 3/4 Persian. There's no reason that it would be any different. If it works, let me know. I imagine it'd be very, very, very stiff if it does. Considering you use 5.5 in 18 gauge, I can't imagine that 5mm would work. All right. So does anybody need anything else? Is he outside now?
Sorry.
Oberon's wanting to get back inside the house.
You can wait now.
You can wait now? Okay. Alright guys, well hopefully that was useful to you. As I said, I will do the other pieces as project weaves and get them up later, but that may not be until next year at this stage. So don't count on me doing it.
In a hurry.
In a hurry. It's not going to happen. All right. Well, that's probably it for tonight then. Just a couple of things before we go. Don't forget we've got MailleCon this month in a couple of weeks. We've still got a week to sign up. We would love to see as many people there as we can get. So if you were worried you were too late, you're not. Scurry across to the website and sign up. What else have we got? Maille Club itself will be closing in a couple of days. So if you want to get in for November's weaves, you've got a couple of days to sign up for Maille Club. Back catalogue, of course, is always open. It never shuts down. I think that's probably
the back catalogue, yeah, you got that one.
I just mentioned that just then.
Anyone new wanted to catch up?
Okay, so we'll at this stage we're planning to do what we did last year as far as the live feeds are concerned, which is we'll go live for November and then December. Although we'll send kits out, we won't be doing planned live feeds in December with our Christmas sale and everything that's coming. Well, I hope you're looking forward to it, Kim. I know I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. Love to catch up with you all. All right, peeps. Well, I think that's probably it then. We are flat out busy getting ready for MailleCon, so you probably won't see very much of us for the next couple of weeks, but we will do our best. Next week is the other new weave, Orc Weave. I had to think for a minute.
Yes.
I had to think for a minute what
That
it
looks
was.
really good, actually.
So next week is Orc Weave, so we'll see you here next week, and yeah, keep busy, keep mailing. All right, guys, thank you so much for everybody that popped along. Sorry for the muck-ups at the beginning. But we got there in the end by the looks of it. All right, then. All right, beautiful people. Chris is throwing kisses. All right. Take care, everyone. Mwah! Catch us all next week. Bye.